there's opportunities all over the market right now. It's kind of hard to pinpoint this into that to three stocks that are going to happen this week. So I'm just kind of give you all of the opportunities at first. So this is the entire stock market. The S&P 500 is down week over week for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, and it's been an insane drop. It's actually the fifth fastest correction that has ever happened in the entire stock market. Insane. So we had a nice little relief bounce. People are calling for a dead cat bounce, which is basically like a crazy rally, and then it just flushes and basically creates this bear flag where it'll most likely hit like a 570 range and then come back to lows. I have a support level at 435 for the bottom of the entire stock market pullback. I don't know if that's right. I personally think that we bottomed out, but I'm more bullish than most. I don't think that this is this. I think this is a major overreaction from Trump tariffs. I think it's a major overreaction geopolitically. I think that there's a lot of stuff going on. When in reality, in the future, it's going to help us out a lot. So, in my opinion, it makes so much sense to continue to buy stocks, buy leverages. But everybody says don't buy leverages. But when they're down big. TSLL, for example, 41 all the way down to 8. Connell from 70 all the way down to 15. I mean, these are just like Amazon, AMZZ from 41 down to 27. So like they just track these big stocks, but they are risky. But in corrections like this, I love them. So overall market, SPY, I kind of have a level if you look at it on the weekly chart over here. So it's bounced quite a bit. It's 4 straight weeks of sell-off, and we had a nice little bounce. So this doesn't seem bullish or scream like, hey, get in. This is going to start forming an uptrend to me. But there is a support level that I personally think it might touch, 540 to 535. So we might still see some selling in the S&P 500. Not sure if it's going to happen this week, but we do have a lot of data this week that might cause that volatility to go downside. So Micron, decent one for semiconductor. And then we have Nike, which will be a great look into consumer spending, in my opinion, and it could affect some stocks this week. So Nike, FedEx are the only two that I'm looking at. This is my weekly newsletter that I send out. But then I have what will affect the stock market. NVIDIA's conference is on March 17th. I think that is tomorrow. That is Monday. And then midweek, we have monetary policy meeting, which will kind of give us a look into Fed interest rates, all that other stuff. But Wednesday's a big day. Tomorrow's a big day for NVIDIA. It could keep the market up. It could be a sell the news event where it kind of pulls QQQ back. But that's all I'm really looking for. There's not a ton of news this week, but just keep in mind that it is the quad witch and there's a ton of volume and there's a lot of options expiring this week. So there will be a shit ton of volume on Friday. But other than that, let's look at some stocks that I'm kind of currently looking at. There's so many. Tesla's obviously my biggest player. Everybody knows that I'm in that. I'm in this and TSLL. I love this volume spike and I love this hammer candle. I think that we could see a 300 price here pretty soon in the next week or two. I think this one has personally bottomed. NVIDIA, for example, has went crazy. This might start forming an uptrend. On the weekly chart, it looks like it's trying to reverse heavy. If I draw any sort of downtrend, all of these trends are broke. There's nothing really, really good, so I'm looking for things that could rebound quick. Excuse me. So NVIDIA or NVDL, if you like leverages for shares positions longer term, maybe a tiny pullback to like 43 on NVDL before you run up. But things that I would start to position on for longer term option plays, I'm really starting to look at things like Google. Look at this bad boy. Still down big time, gotten a ton of bad news, caught in this market correction, talking about how it's going to die out in terms of search. ChatGPT is the bigger search, which honestly I agree with. But I don't think that the stock is going to continue to get beat up like this. I think that Google's a powerhouse. It's one of the biggest, 7 stocks in the entire world. So I would say that this is a nice stock to at least start buying and accumulating shares. I don't know if it's going to happen this week, so maybe this is a bad idea. But let's start talking about stocks that completely reversed and may continue. I think CrowdStrike is a beautiful one. CrowdStrike is one that I could see on a weekly chart here, maybe having a nice little pullback to like 335-ish, but then I would start looking for some longs around like 375, $400 strike for a couple months out. I think CrowdStrike is a beautiful one to be getting involved with this. Rigetti was a massive quantum computing stock that went down to 683. Now it's at 11 in 2 weeks. Like it was unbelievable how quick that one rebounded, almost 50%. So it's kind of hard because there's not a lot of traction out there right now. There's not a lot of trends, but there's a lot of reversal opportunities. So there's a couple things that I'm really looking for that have gotten completely beat up, like Coinbase. I think that Coinbase has been destroyed. It's at the bottom of its trend. I'm looking for a big day in this, just like for a big reversal where it creates like a short squeeze, short covering, and a lot of buyers coming back in. Um, but if I were to look at any stocks this week, I would definitely keep it on watch of Nvidia since they have an event this week. I would might maybe look around this 130 strike for this week, next week, shorter term trades. I love Netflix, to be honest. I think Netflix is a massive opportunity around like 950 strike, maybe to 1,000 if we can keep it going. On the bullish side, bearish side, I would wax all of these. I'm just only talking about bullish scenarios here because I think that the market has a little bit to bounce this week since we've had 4 straight weeks of red. But I would look at Netflix. I would also like kind of want to raise awareness on Lulu because consumer spending has been terrible, but this thing has been off $200 off its all-time highs. This is off weekly, and this low was 226 recently. This is weekly chart, but daily chart, I mean, look at this, just got flushed. Just flushed. I mean, it went up great, and then it's just getting absolutely massacred again. So it went almost up to 422. It's on a 25% discount here. I would start to look for a nice little reversal in this at some point here. You can see it's oversold. There's some volume starting to trickle in here. I think that this has an opportunity to at least start pushing up towards this 340. So that's something to keep on watch. I like NVIDIA, and then I love Meta. I think this is a great one to get involved with in terms of a reversal here pretty soon. I see a nice little support line around, say, 577, and it looks like it kind of already tested those levels on this daily chart. This thing looks like it could break out. This might be my number one winner this week to watch because Meta is not losing money. They're not going anywhere, and they're only going to continue the increase. So once it breaks this downtrend, I would say around like 615-ish, this thing has room to like 640. This thing can move and it can move fast. So I think this is my favorite stock of the week. And I also want to put awareness on Spotify. Spotify has ripped from 488 to 574 within 4 days. So this thing has a lot of steam in its engine, and I think that it's going to reach over $600 this week. So there's a lot of market correction. Beware that it's a dead cat bounce, that maybe the SPY and the QQQ continue to come down. But some of these stocks that have already started to reverse means that these are the most confident securities in the entire market. So like Spotify, for example, their business model is not going to change regardless. People are going to continue to post music on that platform. They're going to continue to listen to music, podcasts, whatever it may be. That company will never die. That one actually kind of hurts me because I think I saw that below $100 one time a couple of years ago. But Spotify, I think above 600. Meta could see that at that big breakout here pretty soon. And then overall, the entire market has so many opportunities. Just try to sprinkle your money in where you can for a longer term, whether it's these leverages or some of these big beat up stocks, because this is an opportunity of probably the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think that this is going to be the massive recession everyone's calling for. There's just no way in my mindset. All these negative headlines only create opportunity for you to buy cheaper. So Spotify is a big one. Meta, I think, is my favorite this week. And just watch out for that SPY to continue to push up another like $5 to $10 this week before potentially another pullback. But Wednesday is going to be a big indicator when they have the Fed meeting. So just pay attention to that. And if there's any questions, leave them in the comments.